Did you enjoy your time with Hidden Agenda?
I did. Yeah, I went into it with mixed expectations, in part just because I really liked Until Dawn so much. And it definitely doesn't live up to that, which it would be impossible to, because it's meant as this one sitting, 2-hour experience.
Yeah.
And that's great if you want to play it with friends, which is supposed to be a big draw of it. But ultimately, and they do a pretty good job with the story, but ultimately you're just not going to be invested with these characters in the way that you would want from a story-driven game.
Plus, Until Dawn, it seems like it had the real thrill of playing with the group was making those decisions and choices and then watching characters live or die, where it seems like the big branching points within Hidden Agenda, it was never like a good moment of like, oh man, this is so crazy, or like, oh, these characters are dropping like flies. It's just kind of like, do you want to say F you, or do you want to say, I'm going to walk out of the room now?
Yeah, there are a few moments in there which are bigger, but a lot of it, it's a lot more psychological and your relationships with characters.
Yeah.
It's kind of the idea of the hidden agenda, and also among the characters is, do you trust these characters? Do they trust you? And your decisions are kind of influencing those things as opposed to,
Yeah.
here's a killer. He's going to kill everyone. What are you going to do?
Yeah. The most fun part of the experience, I thought, is they have certain like QTE moments where it's like, oh, tap on this piece of garbage before they trip over it, and then you'll get a special takedown. Which is I think takeover. I'm sorry. Or they have scenes where it's like, okay, hunt for clues, and then it's just like locking in on a screen, and everyone's just tapping on their phone, searching around the screen, trying to find where any potential clues are hidden. It's a very stupid gamey moment, but it is fun then when you get those takeovers, because everyone will have a different amount of those banked based on how well they've done in those different activities. So then when there's like a big decision coming up, you can just spam the takeover and be like, all right, guys, I'm running this show.
Yep.
Get this lady out of here. She's no good. That was really the thrill. But overall, on a technical level, it's like just like that problem with That's You. We talked about it on the podcast a while back, kind of their Sony's attempt at a Jackbox style experience, but it's not great. Like, I went through 60% of my battery because you have to leave your phone on the entire time. You have to have it connected to the same Wi-Fi as the PlayStation 4. You have to download a completely separate app for each individual game.
What?
Yeah. It's also really choppy, like when you're actually rubbing over the screen on your phone, like the cursor is just all over the place on the actual screen.
I didn't have too many problems with that. Yes, but and it's frustrating because the first time I played it, I was at home and everything connected fine instantly, and I was like, oh, this is actually really good. And then I played it in the office with Miller and Serial, and it took us like 20 minutes to, everyone figure out the network and all that kind of stuff. But yes, the battery, I think, is going to be an issue for anyone who plays it. And I had to, when I was playing at home, I had to actually plug in my phone because, your screen is up the entire time, and smartphones can't handle, doing that for 2.5 hours or whatever.
Yeah, and they have like breaks. I don't know if they say charge your phone, but they really should. Like, it's like end of part 1. Hey, everybody, go mix a drink, have a good time. They should have thrown in a comment of like, this is when you go charge your phone or find
go figure
a
out where your charger is, because you're gonna have to plug it in.
Exactly. Overall, it was a fine little experience. I felt like the story, I'm curious how much it branches, but I wasn't too satisfied. And there are a lot of dangling threads where it's like, wait, what was that?
Yeah,
what was that?
that was one of the things that was most interesting to me, because I played it twice on my own, and the experiences just couldn't have been more different in terms of. Yeah, I screwed the pooch so bad on my first playthrough. Like,
did you get to take over and choose the screw the pooch option?
Yes.
Okay. What happened?
No, everything that could have gone, like the killer went free. My character got into a ton of, like hot water, and a civilian ended up dying, and it was madness. And the funny thing is, I was trying to play really conservatively and not do anything that, you'd think like, oh, I'm not letting that guy go. That's just the stupidest thing. And I think it kind of wants you to take more of a, thriller, like we're going to take some risks, like you would see in a thriller movie during it.
Yeah.
And so when I did that the next time, I was surprised by how much actually changed. And so that was cool.
I still often think about the ending of Until Dawn. I think it's one of the boldest like gaming design decisions in years, is the choice that like you can still massively fuck up on one choice at the very end and literally kill everyone except for one person.
Oh my God.
And I still go back and forth on that. It's like, is that good? Like after like 12 hours of like trying to save everyone, I can just lose everyone in that one instance, not knowing.
Yeah.
And not knowing, is there context in any way, or is it just 50-50?
No, it's like it's just a 50-50 choice.
Oh, F that.
Yeah, it's like
That's great.
I mean,
I think ultimately I come out on the side of liking it.
Yeah,
Just
it's bold.
yeah. I would say in that situation, and we're talking more about Until Dawn than we are Hidden Agenda at
I
this
think there's a
point,
reason for that.
which is actually apt. But I had a sense of what was going to happen based on that decision, and so I did it the right way. And so I'm really happy with how that one ended. But yeah, I can see.
I'm just really fascinated by that developer too, Supermassive Games,
Yeah.
because they did it Until Dawn, which took them 4 or 5 years. That started out as a PlayStation 3 move title.
That's right.
And then like they brought that game out, and I'm still convinced Sony just sent that game out to die. Like in the fall, they didn't really do anything with it marketing wise, and then
I'm always confused. Like, what do you want? Like, if you don't see an ad on YouTube,
but there wasn't like any
Like, is that
ads
the
anywhere. It was
barometer?
just like, oh, it's out now.
what are you searching the internet for
Yeah.
Until Dawn?
No,
ads?
but
Well, I
like-
just don't know if a game exists unless I see an ad in Game Informer.
that.
Yeah.
What is this?
But anyway, but like okay, so they've got sort of Hidden Agenda, which is like a mini version of Until Dawn, we
Yeah.
call it that. And then they have like a bunch of VR titles
Yep.
that are out or coming out. And I'm just curious like how that company is doing, because we interviewed them a while ago. One of the questions I asked them was like, well, how did Until Dawn do sales wise? And like a PR person immediately swooped in and was like, we're not talking about this. So I'm just curious, like, did that game do well for them? And is this one doing well for them? And it's like, is that more of the kind of game we're going to see from them? Or is it just going to be like more VR stuff or like different kinds of games?
It seems like they're splitting up and trying a bunch of different things with different VR titles and Hidden Agenda, so they're trying to cover a lot of new experimental ground, which is always fun for a studio to see. I'm more excited about the PlayLink stuff than the
Right.
VR stuff. But yeah, here's hoping they keep to
being
doing what they do
weird. I want to
best.
see their more weird shit from them. Like, I really do.
Yeah, well, what is the VR stuff? That's like a
Like, there's just one really generic looking one called like Bravo Team 6.
that's it. Yeah.
That looks like Counter-Strike, but in VR. And then there's The Inpatient, which is an Until Dawn tie-in somehow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And is that devoid of any gimmicks?
I have no
Like
idea.
gimmicks, I mean
I don't know.
VR or PlayLink?
No, it's VR.
It is VR.
It is VR, but that's all I know about it. It's like, I think it's like a prequel.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
It takes place in the asylum that's in Until Dawn. Spoilers.
I'm really curious about the future of PlayLink in general. At Paris Games Week, they announced Erica, which is a live action, and like the cursor looks like this weird ghost looking wispy type thing. And so I think that's a cool avenue, is just to have live action choices for PlayLink and have the group making decisions. Hopefully a shorter experience so your battery doesn't get too drained. But also I'm curious, like I know Netflix is experimenting with interactive stuff for kids.
Yeah.
But I don't, as far as I can tell, they haven't made like an adult focused interactive experience, but that's got to be coming in the
That's
next year.
it's on their
Yeah.
radar
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah,
They're
I
gonna-
hope so. I hope they really nail it.
The concept of like interactive movies is actually coming back again. Like
Yeah.
the crazy thing where like that's one of the gimmicks they're going to try to get us back to the theaters. Like click A and find out what happens if they make this choice. Like the movie will change, diverge based on that
Sounds
choice.
so horrible.
I know it's like it's like a 50s gimmick, right? Like
Well, they
but-
did that. Oh God, not what was it in the 80s or something? And then
yeah,
there's that
it's
weird.
happened a few times.
Yeah.
Like we've had it. It's happened historically in history.
But to be fair, we are not the audience for that. Like, I don't think gamers are necessarily, like, hardcore gamers are necessarily the audience for that. I think
there's
there are
some big
people who will
overlap
be
between-
taken by that gimmick and who will love it. Like, like,
Okay.
you just come home and it's one of those Netflix and chill nights.
I
No,
wouldn't
but
mind
this
it
is a-
if it
this
was
is a-
Netflix.
this
but
is
going to
specifically
a
a theater
movie
experience.
theater.
Oh, yeah, no, I
and-
thought we were talking about, like, on screen. Like,
no, the
oh,
on
this
screen
is
is
a
going to be
Netflix
really
thing.
easy.
Yeah.
The theater stuff is like to try to get people back from away from Netflix and back
Oh,
to
no, the
movies.
theaters are doing it.
Yeah, that'd be rough. Thank you so much for watching this excerpt from the Game Informer Show podcast. You can subscribe to the audio version and listen to new episodes airing every Thursday. We cover big games on the horizon, games that we've just reviewed. We have long-form developer interviews, a lot of fun stuff. So check it out every Thursday.